Hi guys, and welcome to the very first episode of Software Explorer. I'm going to kick things off with Mobirise, which is a free desktop-based website builder, meaning you can download it for Windows or for Mac and work with it totally offline. I'm on the website here to kick things off, and basically it's a drag and drop website builder, as you would expect. It comes with over 30 different blocks that you can drag and drop into place, then edit and style inline. Many of the blocks have their own parameters that you can fiddle with, and when it comes to publishing, as far as I'm aware, there's no limit on the amount of projects you can have going at once, so you can have locally stored websites just ready to be published as and when. And when it does come to publishing, you can choose between FTP, Google Drive, as well as just local exports. So when you do finally download it, whether you're on Windows or Mac, you'll be presented with this interface. Now, before I do click to start, I'm going to head over to the menu here. Now, Mobirise is technically for one-page websites. That's what it's best at. However, you can have multiple pages on the same website. For example, you may want an about page or a company page, and that's totally fine. All you have to do is come to the Pages tab, create new page, and that gives you, page1.html. You can clone those pages. You can rename them, give it a different file name, a title, and a meta tag. You can also delete here from this interface. For some reason, sites is below pages. For me, I would prefer sites to be above that. I'm not sure why that's the case, but nevertheless, I've got the CMS Critic project open here, which as you can see is blank. I've got something I was working on earlier, and you can create new sites at will. And as I mentioned earlier, there's no limit on the amount of sites you can get going at once. The other options are mainly just about my account. Extensions and themes, I'll come back to that later. For now, let's get started. Thankfully, Mobirise has made it quite simple to get started with this click to start sign here. So I'm going to click on add block to page. This will bring up all of the blocks that Mobirise has to offer. Now, here would be a good time for me to tell you that Mobirise have recently released Mobirise 3, which came along with over 30 new blocks, which you can see here. And they're looking pretty sleek, I must say. I had a look at the blocks that they had before with the first version of Mobirise, and I'm definitely seeing an improvement here. But we're going to go through the vast majority of these to test out what they look like and what the functionality is like. So first of all, let's have a look at the menus. As you can see, I just click on any block and that will automatically add it in for me. So I've clicked on that menu there. So let's get out of that, and as you can see, the block parameters thing, the button comes up there for me when I hover over it. So I can choose to show my logo or hide it, show my brand name or hide that, show buttons or not, make the menu sticky. I can also make the menu a collapsed menu, which makes it look like that, and if I click that, then that's what I get on the side there, which is pretty cool. I like that. Let's go back to how it was. Colors as well can be changed quite easily. You get a palette here, but there's also, a full range of colors there to choose from. Let's go with something simple here. And there's also fonts. Healthy amount of fonts going on. And the font color can also be changed. So, that's pretty much it for the menu. Let's move on to the next block, which they're calling intros here. So you get the full screen intro. You get some content with an image that seems like a video background, a solid color intro. Sorry, there's a few different options there. Let's go for this full screen intro. It looks pretty cool. Matches my colors. Right. So again, it's all inline editing, so I can just point and click and type as I wish. There we go. So that applies to all text and all buttons as well. I can do the exact same for all of my buttons. When I do click, there are align options. I can left align, center align, right align. There's linking options. There you go. Open a new window. Page anchors. What else do we have? We've got fonts again. Still a healthy number of fonts in there. Font sizes and font colors. So a good range of customization options there. For the buttons, there's icons that I can insert. Again, I think this was included in the update for Mobirise 3, So there are icons you can use for all of your buttons, and I'm not sure where else you can use them, but as you can see, there's some interesting ones in here. So if I was to choose the Microsoft one, icon color, I'm not sure, I'm not going to touch that. Icon size, auto, just go for auto. You can also search the icons here, which is pretty cool. But it's a good range, you know. So if I insert that, then I get the icon there. That's pretty cool. I like that, cool. So when it comes to block parameters here, again we've got show and hide titles and text, buttons being hidden, the arrow there at the bottom to indicate there's more content, I'll keep that. You can align all the content center, left. I'm not sure why that closes by itself. I prefer it didn't close by itself, but there we go. The background image can be changed by clicking on that, and that'll bring up my files, I believe. Yes, so there we go. You can change that quite easily. Parallax effect is on, so when I put the other block down there, you'll be able to see that in action. Background color can be chosen instead. I'm going to keep the image, and also what do we have here? An overlay, right? So I can put an overlay on that with a different color, and we'll keep that as black. And the opacity here, I can toggle what kind of opacity I'm looking for. I think that'll do. Right, so that's my opening intro block sorted. So I'll go back to add a block page. And what's next? We've got sliders and galleries. So let me check out this gallery here. Again, I can also just drag and drop where I like these blocks instead of just clicking on them. But as you can see, that looks pretty cool. I'm not able to open these images out individually in this editing mode. I imagine that's going to change when I go into preview mode later on. But, you know, it's pretty responsive, very clean for sure. The parameters, what are they talking here? There's spacing. Right, okay. So you can have some padding in between them like that. Full width, or you can have it sort of framed inside your website. I think full width looks better. Show text. Where's that gone? Show text. So you can have captions there, and again you can just, you know, point, click and edit. Top padding, bottom padding. Okay, pretty simple to use. Background colors if you're going for the padding stuff. Images, if you want to add an image, you just add that. It's going to bring up my files again, I believe. Oh right, hold on. Right, it's added the default image in there, and then right, I get to choose here. Okay, that makes more sense. So there, bring up my files, and I can choose something from there. Play video. Right, so it looks like these can all be individual videos as well, it seems, and you can just add a YouTube URL in there and have that play, which is interesting. I'm not sure why you'd want, you know, 9 individual YouTube videos playing, but if that's what you want, you can do it with Mobirise. And you can also remove individual slides too. But again, pretty cool, works nicely. Got a couple of extras in there now. What's next? There's different types of galleries, as you can see. Features, right? So you know, we're looking at standard content block here, and once again, I can just point and click on things like images. What is an icon actually? So an icon size can be adjusted. Leave it on auto. I can give it a URL. Can link it to a page I have. I can give it a page anchor. Open a new window. I've got a link on that, and there's again my selection of icons here. Let's change it out for the bicycle. It looks to be, hoping that won't change anything. Yeah, it's working just fine. Looks pretty cool. Okay, again the text again, point and click, buttons exactly the same. Colors can be changed, added, removed. Icons once again. It's all pretty straightforward. What's next? These are all the same sort of, you know, content blocks. They're just sort of they've been divided up and given different designs, which all of them look pretty cool to me. They look very well done. In terms of media, right, this is a YouTube video, I assume. It's a full screen YouTube video, so it's just showing me that I can yeah, I can just copy and paste my YouTube URL in there, set the aspect ratio, I can set it to autoplay, I can set it to loop, and all of that should work just nicely in the preview mode. As for the parameters, there's only just show text on this page, which there isn't any, so that's fair enough. Next, we've got Soundcloud as well. Let's have a look at how Soundcloud works. Has it worked? Yeah, it has worked. Oof, that was a bit finicky. I think I've inserted it twice, so let me delete one. Remove block. Right, now I'm not too sure if anybody would want a full screen SoundCloud element in their website. I'm really not sure, because it doesn't look great, and the options are only to insert your URL, to autoplay. It is full width, but it's, you know, you can also just sort of insert it like that. But again, I mean, there's no option to change the background color, so that doesn't look good. I'll be honest, that doesn't look good. I'm not sure who would want that on their website like that. If it would have been far better for them to have something like this here. I know this is a video, but there is, I'm guessing, some sort of block that I've not seen that looks like this, where there's content on the left and a video on the right. That would have been far more, that would have looked far more appealing if I could have had this aligned right or aligned left with some content here and a button, you know, like subscribe or something like that. That would have been far more useful. At this moment in time, I don't know who would want to use a SoundCloud just sort of floating there in white space. It doesn't look good, so I would suggest that they revisit that area. Let's continue anyway. Articles, right. Article headers. It looks like you've got to sort of piece your article together here. There's an article header, there's the title, and you've got text. Just some text here, and then some sort of footer to go with it, some buttons, and I imagine that's a featured image or some sort of image there. I'll just drag and drop that into the middle. Okay, I mean, we've got a sort of a makeshift blog post here, I guess you could say. You've got the header here, the parallax effect, you can see at the back. It looks nice, that looks cool. The header works well, featured image, yeah, I get it. You can edit the caption there, and then my text is here, but once again, I'm not sure who would want. It could work on its own page, sure. I mean, as an about page perhaps, or a company page, but I don't know, I'm not sure how this sort of fits in. They haven't got a fully fledged blogging functionality, so I'm not sure. This definitely doesn't make up for that, and I'm not sure it's a good alternative either, but hey, it's there. If you can find a use for it, then good on you. What else do we have? Alright, that's a full screen video again, I believe. Yeah. There's a map. Okay. There's a Google map, is it? Yeah. So, Google map, you can, I assume you can, right, the icons there are not working correctly, but yeah, you can put your address in there. There's padding you can adjust with a background color. Fair enough. Yeah, that seems to be okay. That works okay, I guess. Although, is that working? Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so there you go. There's my address in New York. So that could let my visitors know exactly where I am in the world. Fair enough. No complaints there. Facebook comments, that's another integration that comes in free with Mobirise. This seems to be a preview. Obviously that will load properly when I actually publish the website. For now, they're just giving me an idea of what it will look like, and that's fair enough. Next, we've got these sort of info boxes. Again, let me just drag that in there. These are just to sort of break up your website with call to action buttons, really. You know, call to action buttons, maybe some marketing spiel, whatever you want to put there. And again, it's a solid line, nothing new there. Just some nicely designed, you know, website blocks to sort of break up your content, and they're needed. So fair enough. Testimonials seems to be 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of testimonial formats, and again it's just point and click, and you change the image as you would as previously shown. Quite easy to set up, fair enough. And there's a nice array of different ways to sort of set up those testimonials. Social, so you've got some more social blocks here. Pretty straightforward, I imagine. You just add your link. If you've got a Twitter page, you just add your Twitter in there. Mobirise have put their URL in. Page anchors and pages, I'm not sure you want to link that anywhere but here, but the page anchor would come in handy. Open a new window, that's all good. It's going to be the same for all of them. There's a nice selection of social media platforms there with the icon, so that's good. As for the block parameters, again it's just padding and background images. There's a parallax, I imagine there's a parallax thing going on there. No, oh yes there is. Next up, pricing tables. Right, these look pretty cool actually. Now in my experience, when it comes to setting up pricing tables, even on WordPress, I mean there's countless plugins that help you do it, but they're always quite difficult, to be honest. They're always they never look quite as you want them to look. So Mobirise here, to be fair, they seem to have done a really good job. I mean, because of the inline, may struggle to get something on with 4 digits in. They need to address that. That can't work. Okay. Right. Well, other than the fact that 4 digits is too much for it to handle, it does look pretty good, I've got to admit. Yeah, I mean, they need to make that so that doesn't happen. Other than that, you can't fault the design and the fact that you can just sort of set these up pretty quickly. You can change all of these just by pointing and clicking. The buttons at the bottom are the same to set up as all the other buttons. Very, very simple and very effective. As for the block parameters, again, you can take the title off, the subtitle. Here are some options for the columns. Hidden, default, favorite. So you've got, your favorite is the second column there, default, default, default. Hidden, it just hides it, obviously. So there you go. There's padding again. You don't want too much padding. Show buttons at the bottom, you want those. You can have a background image too. Could make it look even better or worse. So there you go. I mean, and a background video, I'm not sure you want that, but the option is there. But yeah, I like this. Like I said, I mean, traditionally, if you're looking to sort of make a pricing table with WordPress, it can get really frustrating. So I like the fact that they've made that really simple. We'll come to forms now, contact forms and the subscribe form. That's pretty good. Let's have a look at both of those. Contact form looks very clean. Just click on that to you can choose to not have your name or email being requested. Form options, you can tell it where to send. Submitted forms, success message, all pretty straightforward. Looks very nice. The button text can be changed again. No problems. That's pretty cool. Colors as well, right? Yes. So subscribe form is pretty cool. Enter your email address. You just, again, same sort of options. That's nice. I like that. They didn't have that before in Mobirise version 1, so that's nice to see. I think that's pretty cool. Again, showing titles and subtitles, paddings, background images. Not bad at all. The map we've already seen. That's a full screen version of it. And now we get to the footers right at the bottom. Ironically, you can have some with again contact forms in there. You can have something very simple. Let's go for this one here, just to sort of show it's got everything in it really. You can have your logo again. What's that? Yeah, any sort of icon if you like. inline editing for all the text. Got a list there of categories or whatever you like, your address, contact, and a small contact form. Now that's pretty good. Obviously what I've built here is not a functioning website or a very nice looking website, but hopefully that's given you an idea of some of the blocks that can be used with Mobirise. Now that's the desktop version. Let's have a look at how it looks on tablet. There's a preview option up here, so tablet view. It's looking pretty good still. My gallery, I added those 2 extras, but I mean, you can still edit it from here. So if I was to take out this one and this one, that would make things look a little nicer. There we go. So gallery looks cool, the content looks good, all the icons staying in line. There's my full screen video. Again, back to the SoundCloud thing, it just doesn't look right. I need to revisit the way that this is looking. And there's my makeshift blog post or article. Everything seems to be working just fine, to be honest. It looks pretty good. The footer, that's not really correct, is it? There's a big white space there. But generally speaking, looking pretty sharp, pretty solid. As far as a smartphone view goes, you know, I may on a personal level may want to cut down that text. It's looking a bit overwhelming, but as far as Mobirise are concerned, it's all looking as it should. Yep, no problems from what I can see. The footer again, yeah, that's better. So yeah, that's looking pretty sleek. Can't fault it for that. And the next stage would be to preview that in my browser, which is it opens up in your browser, and you can also publish. But before I do any of that, let's go back to the extensions and themes. Now obviously this is where we're going to find all of the extensions and themes. Now there is a Mobirise default theme from before Mobirise 3 came out. For me, there was a big improvement between the two. I wouldn't touch this one, to be honest. I'd stick with the latest theme. There is also the Purity M theme. That's a premium theme, so it's going to cost you $9 if you want to use that. I haven't checked it out myself, but it could be worth it. There are a few themes and integrations that come for free. Google Analytics are one of them. Cookies Alert, drop-down menu, Twitter feed, Facebook comments, and SoundCloud are the free ones, I believe. If you want extra blocks, you have to pay $29. If you want a PayPal shopping cart, $29. Extra icons, $19. And when it comes to the code editor, I mentioned it in my Mobirise review on CMS Critic, which I will link to in the description below. I do have an issue with the $69 price tag for the code editor. I just think it's too high. But if you do want to delve into the code, you can do it. You just got to fork out $69. Right, so there's only a few things left to do, one of which is to preview it in my browser. So click that button there. That will export it locally, and I can now see it. Excuse all the tabs. There it is in my browser. This is how it will look for the average visitor. Looks okay. Well, I think certain things haven't loaded yet. It seems to be taking its time to load. I mean, no, it's okay. Right. It definitely seems to be loading as I scroll. Anyway, perhaps that's a speed tactic used by Mobirise. It's fair enough. It's working okay, but it looks good. I've got no complaints with the way that looks on my browser. It looks good, just as it looked in the desktop app. No complaints at all from me. If I go back to Mobirise, the only thing left to do is to publish this, so I just go to publish, and again, like I said previously, I can export it locally to any folder I like. I can browse and find it. I can use an FTP server to upload that directly somewhere, and I can also use Google Drive. and then I can publish it straight away. I personally like to, I mean, when I used it for one project and I exported it to a local drive and uploaded it via FileZilla to my own FTP, and I had no problems. But there you go, that's Mobirise, and it's pretty damn good, to be honest, for a free platform. It's capable of building some simple but effective websites for personal use and perhaps for business use. Certainly a very good option for like a placeholder website. If you know, before you sort of get your final website design finished, you'll be able to get something solid and presentable out of Mobirise, that's for sure. So on that note, I'm wrapping up this episode. Thank you for joining me. All relevant links will be in the description below, including the review for Mobirise, as well as the Mobirise hub on our CMS directory. Check that out for more options if you're looking for a CMS. And I'll see you for episode 2.